I would say one of the biggest learning opportunities I had in my career is when you make a switch, you're not starting off at zero.
Welcome to Honest Ecommerce, a podcast dedicated to cutting through the BS and finding actionable advice for online store owners. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and I believe running a direct-to-consumer brand does not have to be complicated or a guessing game. On this podcast, we interview founders and experts who are putting in the work and creating real results. I also share my own insights from running our top Shopify consultancy, Electric Eye. We cut the fluff in favor of facts to help you grow your e-commerce business. Let's get on with the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Honest Ecommerce. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and today I'm welcoming to the show an amazing woman. She is the CMO of ButcherBox, Kiran Smith. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So for, the three people in the audience that have been living under a rock that listen to this podcast, they obviously enjoy CPG, they enjoy direct-to-consumer. What is ButcherBox if I am unaware?
ButcherBox is a $500 million company, 8 years old. We deliver high-quality meat, beef, seafood, chicken, turkey directly to your home. And we make basically getting your meat even easier than it's ever been before.
That's amazing. I'm excited to kind of get into the weeds on what you guys are up to now. But let's talk about your journey first. You started a ButcherBox in early 2022, if I do believe. What were you doing before that? How did you land such, an awesome role?
I am probably the unlikeliest of marketers given the roles that I've had in the past. I started post-business school and spending 10 years in the grocery world. And that was probably where I found most of my love of food and the foundation and data and the power that data has. And from there, after being at Shaw's, SuperValu, Albertsons, Sainsbury, I moved over to the very logical world of kids' shoes on Stride Right. And from there, really always public-facing consumer packaged goods, including Brookstone, iRobot most recently. I headed up Arnold on the agency side for a couple of years and then found myself at ButcherBox in 2022.
Well, that's amazing. So coming in as a CMO at such a large company, typically I'm talking to founders that or they're doing tens of millions of dollars a year. You guys are doing well above that. And what you're responsible for is a world of difference than what those people are dealing with. So can you talk about kind of like what is the CMO role at like an enterprise level e-commerce company consist of?
Well, this role didn't exist until I came into the company last year. Prior to that, it was very much still in startup mode, where you had different functions happening across the company. And my role was created to consolidate many of those functions. So what it entails right now is the brand and strategy work, product marketing, creative services, and it also includes retention team, the growth team, analytics team, and public relations. So having multiple functions that lived in different places under one roof now really allows us to start thinking much more in an integrated way of how we're showing up in market, and both whether it's in front of our consumers, whether it's in front of our partners. And that consolidation, I think, has really helped us tell our story better about why ButcherBox and why people love us so much.
Absolutely. You mentioned like startup mode, and it's, go fast, stuff breaks, we'll figure it out. And so you're coming in and consolidating a lot of that stuff. Can you talk to me a bit about how that marketing strategy has evolved since you've joined the company?
I would say the biggest part about it is planning, is where it's evolved the most. Now you don't have individual teams who are all operating under their own plans towards their own specific goals. With the integrated plan, what that allows you to do is really start making some choices in terms of where do we want to focus? How do we want to talk about the story? How are we measuring it in terms of the success? And I would also say part of the way that it's helped us a lot was as we even think about where we're putting our dollars, how those dollars are performing for us, it allows us to do it in a way that has a bigger impact in the long term.
In the long term. So I would say for a younger, scrappier team, they're looking 90 days down the line, maybe 6 months. Are you guys setting kind of those goalposts a little bit further?
We are, especially because as we continue to grow in size and scale, awareness becomes even more important as part of our marketing mix. In startup mode, you're very much, looking at this week, maybe this month, and versus as the company starts to grow, the size of the pie has to grow. And that means starting to look at more longer term investments of how you're getting your message there, getting people to want to learn a little bit more about your brand, and then bringing them along the marketing cycle in terms all the way down to signing them up and then keeping them as part of our family.
Yeah, I think when you're a younger brand, it's a lot more direct response. You need to make your money back a lot quicker. But it's interesting to hear that you guys are allocating and planning for some of that long tail and just awareness plays that you're not going to necessarily see that response in a timeline that I guess a younger brand couldn't afford.
That's exactly right. The role that experiential plays for us, brand awareness building, the role that public relations plays for us, referrals, all of those are longer term plays that just require a different playbook than maybe what we were typically showing up with.
Absolutely. So you mentioned that you've got a lot of integral parts of the marketing kind of under your umbrella. Now, are you in the day-to-day doing all these things, or are you hiring key players to empower that and report to you?
The most important thing when I first joined ButcherBox was to learn about how ButcherBox operated. It's a subscription business, all.com, and that world is different than a typical retail organization. So for me, when I first joined, it was really important to be able to roll up my sleeves and make sure that I started understanding how the business worked, how the teams worked, what the processes were. As we've grown over time, we've made people decisions in terms of how we're organized ourselves, the leaders that we have in place in doing that work, and then how we start to work better together as a team. It's been an evolution, but I'd say we're probably in about the halfway point of it.
Awesome. So you have a big piece of the marketing strategy lends itself to affiliate marketing. How does that work for you guys? Can you take a little bit behind the curtain and let us know a little bit of your marketing strategy there?
It's one of my favorite parts about the ButcherBox history, the fact that when Mike Salguero started it 8 years ago, affiliate marketing was a massive part of our marketing budget. At the time, if you go back and think 8 years ago, you look at what people were looking at. They were looking for options to find humanely raised beef products, meat products, and it wasn't readily available. As you had paleo, keto, Whole30, there are a lot of influencers in that space. We're talking about what it meant to be part of the program and the type of foods you should be looking for. There weren't a lot of people providing that. And what we found is by partnering with some of these affiliates, influencers, it allowed us to be able to get our brand out there, have them talk about why it was a great option for the people who they were talking to. And it really helped us build out the business pretty quickly. The other advantage of it is by the way that we set up the relationships with them. If we benefited, they benefited. If they referred us and someone signed up, they continued to get the benefit of having those signups as those customers continue to get ButcherBox, which was a really great way to grow the business and feeling like everyone was rowing in the same direction and had the same incentives.
Now, would it be correct to say that affiliate was probably like the number one channel for a while there that you were using for new customer acquisition?
It absolutely was.
What would you say to a young entrepreneur about focus in your customer acquisition and why they shouldn't try a million things at once?
I think for ButcherBox, as it was getting its story out there about why it was a special business that people wanted to get to know better. I'd say the organic part of the affiliate relationship was that we weren't trying to be everything to everybody. We wanted the affiliates to be true to their story, how they wanted to talk to their audiences, and we wanted to be a good fit for them. What that meant is that we didn't try to script them. We didn't try to tell them, you need to say this, you need to focus on this. We wanted them to use their own words, and we wanted them to love the product as well. So we wanted to make sure that they were really understanding about the taste, the quality, the story behind the farmers and the animals. All of those things were really important of building that out. It's hard to do that if you're doing a million other things as well. So by nurturing the affiliate program, really getting the right team in place, getting them creating personal relationships with our affiliates and influencers, that took time, that took people, and it took focus.
Absolutely. I think that one of the things that I interact with all the time with merchants and clients and whatnot is they always want to try new things, and it's the more obvious lever to pull is double down on this thing that's obviously working. You don't want to distract, and it's very rare that you're actually maxing out any of these channels.
I agree. And I think what was great about how ButcherBox built out the affiliate program, it wasn't just about the words that the affiliates were using in terms of, as I was talking about ButcherBox, it was about the recipes that they provide, how they were integrating ButcherBox into their lifestyles. Like all of those pieces, gave us a much more holistic way of talking about the brand and the partnerships. I think by working with affiliates closely, getting to know them, getting to know their audiences, we were able to customize much more of what we were able to offer them as part of that partnership and what they gave back to us. But it definitely felt much more like a partnership than it did a business relationship.
Hey there, merchant. Are you tired of trying to navigate the wild world of e-commerce on your own? Are you looking for a partner to help you achieve your goals? Look no further than the Shopify Plus agency, Electric Eye. Our team has a proven track record of helping our clients make millions with strategic design and development. Whether you're migrating from a legacy platform to Shopify, designing a new theme for your store, or just looking to optimize what you already have, Electric Eye is the perfect partner for you. Electric Eye are true Shopify experts. Not only is our Shopify knowledge unparalleled, but we have partnerships with all the best tech in the Shopify ecosystem. And don't worry, we're easy to get a hold of. Our clients rave about our fast communication. So here's the deal. If you're an e-commerce business doing over $1 million a year, you can receive a complimentary Shopify diagnostic from our team of experts. That's free, personalized, strategic recommendations to improve your store and grow your business. To get started, head on over to electriceye.io/connect to schedule an intro call with one of our experts. That's electriceye.io/connect. Are you tired of your cash flow being tied up in inventory that takes ages to arrive from China? How many times have you missed out on potential sales during peak season due to inventory delays? Well, here's some news that might just change the game for you. Imagine increasing your lead time by 10x without ordering inventory in advance, reducing your inventory risk by over 66%, and enjoying 3 times better cash flow. Sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? Well, with Portless, this dream can become a reality. In the unpredictable world of inventory projections and holiday rushes, Portless is your reliable partner. They ship your products directly from China to your customers, keeping you stocked without the burden of additional storage fees. Say goodbye to the hassle of ordering inventory in advance. With Portless, you have access to factory MOQs and can replenish fast-moving products in just 3 to 5 days. Capitalize on demand, eliminate wastage, and get your precious inventory ready for sale within 2 to 4 days of manufacturing. No more waiting 45 to 60 days for cargo ship arrivals. Shipping to over 55 countries from their fulfillment center in China, Portless ensures your customers enjoy a seamless domestic experience with 6-day shipping and last-mile tracking from trusted carriers like USPS, Royal Mail, and Canada Post. The best part, it's cost-effective. Portless helps you improve your gross margins by up to 40% thanks to Section 321, eliminating fees and costs associated with traditional fulfillment options. Not only that, Portless ensures your products reach your customers on time while retaining the full domestic experience. Your customers can conveniently track their orders, and you get to keep the custom packaging they love. If you sign up before March 30th and mention this podcast, Honest E-Commerce, you'll get 20 cents off your pick and pack fees for every order for the first 3 months. That means if you're doing 10,000 orders a month, that's $2,000 a month in total savings, $6,000 for your first 3 months. But remember, you have to contact Portless before March 30th to get this deal. Ready to revolutionize your inventory and fulfillment process? Visit portless.com today and let them help you with your inventory and fulfillment needs. Today's episode is sponsored by Intelligems, the ultimate A/B testing and profit optimization platform for Shopify merchants. You're investing tons of time and money to drive traffic to your store, but are you doing everything you can to convert that traffic into profits? With Intelligems, you can stop guessing and start making strategic decisions. Intelligems platform enables you to A/B test everything from themes to pricing so you can understand what makes your customers tick and click. Whether you're tweaking your UX, testing prices and offers, or trying out different shipping rates, Intelligems provides real-time insights that can directly influence your store's profitability. Join the ranks of over 1,000 Shopify stores that are already maximizing their potential with Intelligems. Setup is quick, and the results are undeniable. If you're not experimenting, you're leaving money on the table. It's that simple. Elevate your e-commerce strategy today. Visit intelligems.io/honest-ecommerce and use code honest-ecommerce for 10% off your first month. You can also find Intelligems on the Shopify App Store and get a 7-day free trial. Now, what were some of the key learnings that you took away from your prior experience in robots and children's shoes, helping run an ad agency, that you kind of brought in and helped you within the first year of being a CMO at ButcherBox?
I would say one of the biggest learning opportunities I had in my career is when you make a switch, you're not starting off at zero. That was probably when I switched from 10 years in grocery and then going to kids' shoes. What did I know about kids' shoes except that I had 3 daughters who wore them? Right. That was about the extent of my experience. And yet when I showed up at StrideRite and when I got into the business, I realized I did bring a lot to the table. I had worked in loyalty programs. I'd done direct mail. I'd done a lot of the pieces that the business was working on. And it was that last 20, 30% that I needed to learn. And that was exciting. It was fun to learn. And with every subsequent role that I've taken thus far, the same is applied. I bring a lot to the table from my past experiences, and getting to know that last 20, 30% is where that the nuances start. And so the same thing applied with ButcherBox. It is, consumer goods are fun. Consumer goods, like when you're excited about talking about your product, when you're excited about telling someone, why they should try it out because of what it offers, that's a great job to be in. And if you feel like you have that passion for the good that you are selling, that's the bulk of the job.
Absolutely. How much are you allowed to share with me about the decision to move off of a custom homegrown solution to Shopify?
It was a decision that the team, they did their due diligence in terms of, we had been on WordPress from the beginning. Again, homegrown system. It got us to where we've been today, which is amazing. But as we start to look at that next level of growth, to get to $1 billion company, what we found is that we really needed to look around and say, do we have the right platform on which we can grow? When you start off as a startup, how you built that foundation is different than how you would if you're an established company that's looking for that next level. When we chose Shopify, basically they were a great partner in terms of showing us the vision on how they could support us, and a lot of the ecosystem that the Shopify relationship offers us really gives us a lead in terms of being able to move faster than we would if we were trying to do it ourselves.
Absolutely. It's always a lot easier to have platforms and systems that other people are aware of, and they're focused, and it kind of is headless, kind of not, but having these key components of your business not be custom and only one person on the team knows how it works. If they get sick, that's scary. But if you have something that there's more familiarity out there and there's a lot more knowledge about it, it makes things a lot more scalable and easier to fix when things maybe potentially do go wrong. Back to the Shopify thing, though. I think that you guys are definitely trailblazing in a sense of being such I would say a company that was entrenched in their own technology, making that leap. I think we'll probably see a few more people out there kind of fall in behind you.
We like to be ahead of the pack sometimes.
Absolutely. Now, is there anything I didn't ask you about today that you think would resonate with our audience?
I think something that I think would resonate with the audience is around growth and how you think about it from what got you here and how you think about it for the next stage of growth. And that, for me, that takes a really special leadership team. It takes a really special employee base that's willing to stop, take a look how things are working and say, okay, how do we need to adjust to move forward? Because a lot of times you can imagine you just keep doing the same things. You keep iterating on the same things. And unless a company is willing to say, all right, if we're going to keep wanting to grow, if we're going to keep wanting to try to trailblaze, break into new parts, giving yourself the time, giving yourself the time to think, the time to plan, the time to strategize. It takes effort. It takes leadership. But I think that's one of the things I enjoy most about ButcherBox is that it's never done. It is it's always looking to continue to evolve, grow, create more meaningful relationships with our members, bring new members into the mix. And I think that's what is one of the things that makes it a really special place, and that people are really excited to be being a part of.
Absolutely. I think there's so many places that like the 80-20 rule, you can bend it. The 80-20 exists everywhere. And I think that I was listening to another podcast the other day talking about where they just 20% will just try things, try different advertising campaigns, try different creative, try something new on the website, making sure that it wasn't, you obviously want to focus on the things that that are working, but you still need to kind of have some area to explore and to iterate and to just see what happens.
I would say ButcherBox is probably the best environment I've ever worked in that truly embraces a test and learn environment. And where when those learnings are failures, it is absolutely talked about because you want to. And I think that people talk a good game when they say, no, we want you to fail. We want you to fail. Not all environments are really supportive of that. I will say ButcherBox really is. It is a data-driven environment. It is a customer-obsessed environment. And that means, I think, is constantly wanting to make sure that the people who we have working for us are curious, are looking to try new things, feel comfortable that they can take risks and that there's not a hand slap that's going to happen if it doesn't work. Doesn't work that way. So I think that's one of those things culturally that people strive for. I think ButcherBox has really done a great job of achieving that.
Awesome. Obviously, we've talked a lot about the amazing products at ButcherBox. If I'm curious to learn more about the products, and then also if I'm curious to learn more about you and follow you on the internet, where are some URLs? Where should I go? What are some things I should do?
ButcherBox.com. Just go to, just go there. You'll get all the information you need about what a subscription looks like, gift boxes, try us out. There's all, everything you need. And if you want to learn more about me, just go to LinkedIn.
Awesome. Any parting words for some aspiring entrepreneurs that might have ButcherBox on their vision board?
I would say that culture can rule a business. What the company that has been built is truly about the animals, the farmers, the planet, and the employees. And that it is the first truly mission-driven company I've been a part of. A lot of companies say it's mission-driven. This one proves that you can be. And when you work in an environment like that, decision-making is a lot easier.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing all of those insights.
Thanks for having me.
We can't thank our guests enough for coming on the show and sharing their knowledge and journey with us. We've got a lot to think about and potentially add into our own businesses. You can find all the links in the show notes. You can subscribe to the newsletter at honestycommerce.co to get each episode delivered right into your inbox. If you're enjoying this content, consider leaving a review on iTunes. That really helps us out. Lastly, if you're a store owner looking for an amazing partner to help you get your Shopify store to the next level, reach out to Electric Eye at electriceye.io/connect. Until next time.